Theruvan Saranai. Hope everyone is well, keeping safe away from all the viruses. Today it's the 5th episode of Season 1, Path to Nibbhana. And last week, the main concepts that we discussed was about Sapa, Dukkha, Upeksha, about the Vipaka, Sapa, Dukkha and Upeksha, and that we cannot do anything about it. And even the Arihatun Vahanse has Vipaka, Sapa, Dukkha and Upeksha. The problem is we attach with the Vipaka with Raga, Dvesha and Moha, and then we create the Abhisankara. That is where the problem is. That is what we learned last week. Moving on to this week, first thing we will be learning is about the thought, how what happens to a thought and how it gets defiled. Right? The birth of a thought is pure. So that is the main thing you need to understand. So when a thought comes in first, it is pure. It's not polluted. Then you identify with the thought. So identifying is also fine. It's pure. It's still pure. For example, you see something and then you identify it. So until that moment, it's pure. You hear something, then you identify that. That's a noise. What kind of a noise? Someone is calling me. That's a bird, right? Or you smell something, you taste something, you touch something. So the identification is fine. There is nothing wrong with the identification. The problem is after the identification. That is one thing that you need to know, because even Lord Buddha identified Sariputta. When Sariputta Maharatan Vahanse walked towards Lord Buddha, he knew, it was Sariputta. He spoke to Sariputta. He spoke to Rahula. He spoke to Vishaka. He spoke to Ananda. So he identified them. Right? There was no problem with that. So identifying is fine. It's not defiled. That is one thing that you need to understand. This is very important when it comes to meditation, because this is the trick. This is where the normal people, this is what they don't know about. Right? We think, or not we, but normal people, they think that the thought starts defiled already. So what they are trying to do is they are trying to clean something that is dirty. So that is what is wrong. This is what you need to clearly understand. When you are trying to clean something, assuming that it is dirty, then there is a problem. Because what you need to understand, or what one needs to understand, that this is clean and we are polluting it. So we just need to stop polluting it. We put some effort to pollute it. That is what we do. If you watch your mind, if you close your eyes and watch your mind carefully, watch and see what is happening to the mind. When a thought comes, you start to run around. You put effort towards running around. If you watch clearly, you don't feel it that way because you are so used to it. It's like breathing. You're not gonna, you never think that breathing, you're putting effort towards breathing. You think it happens automatically. But when you go to higher states in meditation, you will come to a state where you understand, you realize that you have to put effort towards breathing. Right? So similarly, this thought process, you have to put effort. If you watch carefully, you will see, you are the one who's running around. You're bringing in so many thoughts. You're going back to the past, you're going to the future, running around. But then you calm down. Slowly, if you calm down, you will see, oh, if I don't do anything, it doesn't get polluted. Right? So that is one thing that you need to understand. For example, when the eye gets in contact with the vision, or when the ear gets contact with the sound, the thought that is born is pure. This is what you need to understand. I will come to the proof in a minute. The first one is in the Thripitaka. It's explained in the Vibhanga Prakarana. In the Paticcasamuppada Vibhanga. In the Paticcasamuppada Vibhanga, they explain about the Kusala Moola Paticcasamuppada, Akusala Moola Paticcasamuppada, and Avyakruta Paticcasamuppada. And in there, it starts with Sankhara. So that is what you need to understand. It starts with the Kusala Moola Paticcasamuppada, Akusala Moola Paticcasamuppada, and the Avyakruta Paticcasamuppada. When we come to the Paticcasamuppada discussion, there will be a discussion on Paticcasamuppada. I know we have done a couple of discussions already about Paticcasamuppada, but when we come to we will go through the Paticcasamuppada again as part of this season. When we come there, we will go through in detail and you will understand more. So what you need to know for now, that it starts with Sankhara. And another example from the Thripitaka is from the Anguttara Nikaya 1, Prabhashvara Varga. So when we say Prabhashvara Varga, Prabhashvara means pure. That is the meaning of Prabhasvara. In page 29 it says, Pabhasvara bidang bhikkave chittang agantuke upakilittena upakilittang. So Pabhasvara bidang bhikkave chittang agantuke upakilittena upakilittang. The initial thought is pure. It gets defiled by raga, dvesha and moha. So this is from Thripitaka. The problem here is, in the Thripitaka itself, it says, the Pruthajjana, the mundane people, they don't know that this is the case. And therefore, Tathagatayan Vahanse has mentioned that I don't recommend Chitta meditation to the Pruthajjana or the mundane people, because they don't know that. And if they try, it doesn't work. So until one understands Dhamma, one comprehends Dhamma, they will struggle to do the Chitta meditation. Chitta meditation is when you close your eyes, you are watching your mind. You are seeing from like an outside person. It's like a bodyguard. So you're guarding. What you're doing is you're watching what is happening. You're making sure you don't let the mind process abhisankara. So you can hear noises, you can smell something. If you have closed your eyes, you're not going to see anything. But when it could be a thought that comes to you. When the thought comes, you know, oh, it's a thought. Okay. So now you're seeing it. Oh, now your mind wants to process it. What you do is, what is the point of processing this? I am just going to go and defile this. So what you do is you just let it go. You don't go over and over on that. You just leave it at that. Then you focus on the thoughts again. What I used to do when I was meditating, when I was doing the Chitta Bhavana, what I was doing was, I take a breath in. I'm not concentrating on the breathe in. Don't get me wrong. I was concentrating. I'm taking a breath in and I'm thinking, with this breathe in, am I taking anything bad inside? As in, is any raga, dvesha or moha thought coming into my inside? And now I'm thinking, oh, I'm breathing out. So because what we need to do is focus on the present moment. Now I'm breathing out. I'm thinking, okay, with this breathing out, am I taking any raga, dvesha, moha inside? Or what I was thinking is I'm breathing out the raga, dvesha, moha. I'm taking in the Nibbhana. So that is different ways of doing it. You don't have to stick to one thing. End of the day, what you need to do is keep this clean. So you have people have different techniques of how to do it. You have to focus. When you focus on that breathing, you are focusing 100% all the time. This is not. I am not focusing on the breathing itself. I am not talking about the air. I'm not talking about counting the breathing or anything. I'm thinking, at this present moment, I am focusing this present moment. Okay, what am I doing? I'm breathing in. The breath goes in. But with that, am I taking anything to do with raga, dvesha, moha? So I'm focusing on raga, dvesha, moha here, not the breathing, right? So the most important thing here to learn is it is not about cleaning something that is already dirty. It is about stopping it getting dirty. So this is what you need to understand, and this is the most important thing about the Chitta Bhavana, as well as when you are doing meditation. That is what you need to focus on, because in the first dhyana there is no raga or dvesha. So in order to get to the first dhyana, you need to make sure you maintain without raga or dvesha. How you maintain is, if you keep it clean, there is no raga or dvesha, then you automatically go into the dhyana. So this is the trick of going into dhyana. If someone is struggling to go into dhyana, don't worry about dhyana. Don't think about dhyana. Don't think, I'm struggling, I'm finding it really hard to go to dhyana. This is the problem I have. The more you think about it, the more you struggle. Just let that one also go. Just think, let me concentrate. And when you say concentrate, you just keep an eye on your mind, on your thoughts, and see if it gets defiled. If you maintain without it getting defiled for a few minutes, then automatically you can feel you go to the dhyana. So this is the trick. There is another example from the past from Lord Buddha. He gave Chullapantaka a clean cloth and he asked to wipe from the hand. So Chullapantaka was given a clean cloth and he was asked to wipe it. So he was, I think he was saying Rajoharanang, Rajoharanang, Rajoharanang or something. So he was wiping the cloth with his hand. And then he realized, Chullapantaka realized, that he is the one who's making the cloth dirty. So he understood, this is clean already. I am the one who's making it dirty by raga, dvesha and moha. So he combined this cloth to his mind. And then he understood. That is how you understand. So that is how you practically understand things. So what you need to know to do, what you need to know to attain dhyana is this. You just keep your mind clean from preventing raga and dvesha coming inside or happening inside. So in other words, the abhisankara. Stop the process of abhisankara. So normally what happens is raga, dvesha, moha comes and then it goes place, you think, and then you, for example, your mother. A thought comes, about your mother. Then you think, where is she? What is she doing? Is she well? Is she is she in a safe place? Blah blah blah. Or your son, or your wife, or something, right? Or your business. Then you think, what is going on with the business? Am I going to make profits or loss? Or you think about your job. You're not sure what's going to happen. You're scared. Or everything is, it's a lockdown. Am I going to lose the job? Now you process it, process. So this is what you need to understand. Thoughts come into you. Just don't process it, because the more you process, the more it gets defiled, and then starts the problem. That is the issue. And another example from Thripitaka is Na Chetana Karniya Sutre. Na Chetana Karni. So it says nothing to do with Chetana. So how to get to Dhyana is what's explained in here. Is nothing to do with Chetana. Chetana is creating the Chitta. You are creating something. So that itself is Abhisankara. So what you need to do is stop the Abhisankara process. I'm saying this again and again and again to make sure you understand and get it installed into you properly. Then you know what to do when you sit down for meditation. Again, I will give you examples. Lord Buddha identified Sariputta, Moggallana, Rahula, Vishaka, Ambapali, right? Everyone, without any problem. But if we were to identify each of them, we will have different thoughts going inside our brains. When we say Ambapali, all of a sudden, oh, that was a prostitute. That will come to our mind, and then all sorts of things go through our mind. But that is the problem. What needs to happen is you just identify that is a person, right? Vishaka is a person, is a woman. That's all you need to know, and not go into deep detail about her life story and lifestyle and everything, right? Rahula, if it was Rahula, for example, if we were to think about our son, we would be thinking about, oh, this is my loving son. But for Tathagata and Vahanse, for Lord Buddha, it was another person, right? First you see. So this is how it works. First you see or hear, then you identify, and then you attach. So the third thing is the attachment. And that is where the problem is. This is vital for Dhyana or Jhana. That is what you need to know. First you see or hear or smell or taste. Then you identify. Thirdly, you attach. So attachment is the problem. Moving on, the next topic is Asada. How Asada is created, or how Asada is born. Because Asada you are creating inside you. It's a mentally fabricated thing. So now we are trying to understand how Asada is created. In Samyukta Nikaya 3, Prathama Asada Sutra, page 51, it talks about how Asada is created. The technique of creating Asada, explaining that, right? Now Tathagata and Vahanse has mentioned in here, I had a question before becoming Buddha. What is Asada of Rupa? What is the Adinava of Rupa? What is the Nissarana of Rupa? Similarly, this is Tathagata and Vahanse talking. I had a question. What is the Asada of Vedana? What is the Adinava of Vedana? What is the Nissarana of Vedana? And Sanya, Sankara, Vijnana, like that. Similarly, he had all these questions. Then he talks about Yanko Rupam Paticca Uppajjati Sukhan Somanassang Ayang Rupe Asada. Now he is saying, when one attaches to a rupa with a desire, lustfully, it creates asada. Now he is talking about what asada is. Yanko rupam paticca uppajjati sukhan somanassang ayang rupe asada. There are very important words here. Yanko rupam paticca uppajjati. Paticca is when you attach lustfully or with a desire. Uppajjati is it creates. Sukhang somanasang. Sukha is the pleasure, or somanasa is the happiness and pleasure. That is when asada is created. When you see something and it gives you create some pleasure and happiness by attaching it to lustfully or with a desire. That is where asada is created, and that is how asada is created. The important thing about this is it was not because of the rupa. It was because of the lustful attachment or the attachment with desire. So just because of a rupa, the asada didn't happen. Only because you attached with lustfully is when the asada happened. If the rupa gave asada, then with the same rupa, everyone should get the same asada. Right? For example, from the first episode, I think we talked about the father sees his son and he gets asada, and the neighbor sees his son, the same son, and then the one who threw the stone, right? And he doesn't get asada. In fact, he gets a suffering. He doesn't want to see this guy. He hates this person, right? So that is how it works. Then moving on, so that is about asada, how asada is created. Then moving on to the adinava. Now he is saying, yang rupang aniccang dukkham viparinama dhammang ayang rupassa adinavo. Yang rupang aniccang dukkham viparinama dhammang ayang rupassa adinavo. So what he is saying is, anicca dukkha viparinama dhamma is what is adinava. So he's talking about the asada, adinava and nissarana. So in the same thing, yampi iccha nalabati tampi dukkha. Yampi iccha nalabati tampi dukkha. In Satya Vibhanga Sutra, Sariputta Maharatan Vanse has explained that anicca, dukkha and anatta or viparinama dhamma. Right? Viparinama is changing not according to your like, changing to a different way is parinama. When it's viparinama, it's changing not according to your like. Anicca is not fulfilling the senses, and then dukkha is because it's not fulfilling, it ends up with suffering. So what created the asada? So going back to the asada, what created the asada? Raga created the asvada, because you attached lustfully with raga. So now you need to know if raga is good or bad, because what happens is when you create the asada, that is when you get to the adinava. So now we know that asada is not good. So nissarana is sarana is you are roaming around, right? Looking for asada. Nissarana is stopping the roaming around. So raga, then asada, then you're not roaming around looking for asada. So now coming back to the third one, we talked about the asada. We talked about Tathagatan once they spoke about the adinava. Now he's talking about the nissarana. Yo rupasming chandaraga vinayo chandaraga pahana idan rupasa nissarana. So this is what nissarana is according to the Thripitaka, according to Lord Buddha. He's saying, Yo rupasming chandaraga vinayo. Chandaraga is prioritize roaming around by being blinded by the defiled thoughts. Chandaraga. Cha-anda is getting blinded by chandaraga, by the desires. Right? So chandaraga vinyo, chandaraga pahana. Chandaraga vinyo is you try to restrict Chandaraga, and then Chandaraga Prahana is getting rid of Chandaraga totally, or eliminating Chandaraga. So that is what Nissarana is, basically. Nissarana is when you're not roaming around. For you to not roam around, you need to get rid of the Chandaraga. When you have the Chandaraga, you roam around. Blindly you're roaming around. Oh, it's a nice song, it's a nice movie, it's lovely. So you tend to roam around. But once you get rid of the Chandaraga, there is no attachment, lustful attachment, then you don't feel like doing it anymore. There is no Chandaraga. You only go if you have the Chandaraga. The stronger the Chandaraga is, the more you suffer to go. Run around, basically. So after seeing an outside image, thinking that there is asada in the outside image and going after it is the problem. So that is what running around is. And there have been problems with the translations. I will mention these as well. I am not you're not looking at a Sinhala translation, but maybe these have been translated into English as well in the wrong manner, right? When in the places where paticca has been used, they have used the word nisa in Sinhala, or the word because, and that is wrong. Instead of paticca you can't say because paticca doesn't mean because. So rupam paticca uppajjati sukhan somanassam means when you look at a rupa, paticca is when you have a desire inside, you attach with lustfully, is what paticca is. If you say from a rupa or from an image, because of an image asada happens, that totally changes the whole meaning of it. Because you think, oh, the rupa or the image is what gave the asada. The asada came because of a rupa. If you take it wrong, so that is wrong. You need to understand that it's not because of the rupa, it's because you created it inside, and that is the paticca. And another word that has been translated incorrectly here is the anicca into anitya. In the Adinava, I think, in the when they explain, because asada, adinava, nissarana are the most important words in Buddhism. If you get these wrong, you will get everything wrong. And if you get the paticca, the meaning of paticca wrong in asada, then you won't understand asada, how asada is created. Now in the adinava, anicca is a very important word, and it's been translated into impermanent rather than not fulfilling, right? So that is what you need to understand. There is also something that you need to know here. There is a paticca for seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touch, and thoughts for identifying, which is still pure. So you have the eye, ear, nose, tongue, body and mind, and then how the outside images, sounds, taste, smell, how it you identify these, and there is nothing wrong in identifying, right? Moving on to Samyukta Nikaya 4, Parihana Dhamma Sutra. Parihana Dhamma, Parihana is the end. So as in taking you towards the bad end. So in this sutra, Tathagata Vahanse is explaining, I am letting you know Parihana Dharma and Aparihana Dharma. Parihana dharma, things that will take you down, away from nirvana or nirvana. So take you away from nirvana towards the low end, which is the hells, right? And aparihana dharma are the things that will take you to nirvana. So this is also something that you can use to see if you are going towards nirvana or away from nirvana. When one sees a rupa or vision, if he gets a negative thought, that will result towards immoral activities, which he would feel like this is important and valuable. So you see something, then you come to the conclusion, oh, this is lovely, this is very important. And then you wouldn't mind doing any immoral activities to achieve this or to obtain this, to gain this. Then that is a parihana dharma. And if he doesn't get rid of that at the time and prevent it from coming back, he will fail from the morality. So what happens is, he will just go after it. He will start roaming around. Say, for example, you see you're walking by, you see a nice lady, and then you think, oh my God, this is the most beautiful woman I have ever seen. She is very important and she is very valuable. I'm gonna go behind her. And then you can't even remember where you were going. You've forgotten everything. Now you're going behind this woman, trying to talk to her, trying to be friendly with her, trying to make her yours. And this is a parihana dharma. It is not just with this example. You can take any example to do with this. It could be anything. You see some people going for something. It could be going for a match, or it could be going for a party, going somewhere. Now you're like, okay, you're crazy, you have to do this. You're thinking that is very, very important. You can't stop this. I will even do anything. There are people who will do anything to get certain things. So if you're going that deeper into it, then there is a problem. So that is what a parihana dharma is. Chakkuna rupang disva uppajjati papaka akusala sarasankappa. So chakkuna rupang disva, when you see something from the eye, uppajjati, now you create a papaka akusala. Akusala is the immoral, papaka is sin, sarasankappa, sara is important, you think it's valuable, it's good. Sarasankappa. Asara is not valuable. Anattang asara kattenati. That's what we learned. Now this is sara. You think, oh, it's valuable, it's important. Then that is where the problem is. This is a parihana dharma. So when these things happen, you have to fight against them and try to get rid of it at the time. We did the dasa sanya in one of the sermons, and in there we talked about pahana sanya. What we said was, what was the dasa sanya? The sutra for dasa sanya was, what was that? Girimananda Sutra. Yes, thank you. So in the Girimananda Sutra we explained about the pahana sanya, what we need to do. So then we talked about uppannang kamavitakan nadivaseti phajati byanti karoti anabhavam gameti. So when a kamavitaka comes, how you have to handle it, we talked about it. If you want to listen to more about the sanya, the perceptions, you can listen to that, and it has been explained in detail in the Girimananda Sutra. So it's the same thing that you need to do here. When that comes, the thought comes, then you have to fight with it at the time. You have to make sure it doesn't happen. You shouldn't get crazy about it. You need to understand. Once you understand about the world, about the anicca, dukkha, anatta, you're not going to go crazy about anything. That much. You will go crazy to a certain extent. Not to do the 10 immoral activities and do anything. So that is what you need to understand. If you see something and come to the conclusion saying nicca sukha atta, nicca sukha atta, that is parihana dharma. So that is not the reality. That is not the Buddhism. That is the opposite of Buddhism, basically. And if you see anicca, dukkha, anatta, that is aparihana dharma. That is what takes you to Nibbhana. So that is how they are all linked. Right? Anicca, dukkha, anatta. That is what you need to see. When anicca, dukkha, anatta is seen, the raga, dvesha, moha doesn't come. Right? Then moving on to Samyukta Nikaya 4, Kottita Sutraya, page 323. In the Kottita Sutra, it has been explained more about the eye and the vision. They are not combined. You combine with raga. Now is the table 2, the second table. Now raga comes into play, and then that is where the problem begins. Right? If you look at table 2, if you can open table 2, that is where the problem begins. In moving on to the next one is Patisangita Magga Prakarane 1, page 68. Sabbe sankhara anicca, sabbe sankhara dukkha, sabbe dhamma anattati, has been explained here in the Patisangita Magga Prakarane. Patisangita Magga Prakarane, page 68. Rupang aniccang kayattena, dukkham bhayattena, anattang asara kattenati. We have been listening to this, we have been hearing this again and again and again. Now it's come back here in the Patisangita Magga Prakarane. Kayattena, aniccang kayattena, dukkham bhayattena, anattang asara kattenati. So this is because these words, these three words, we have to be concentrating, we have to be seeing this all the time. So the more you hear about it, the more you get installed, then more you understand. Ka aya, kayattena is ka aya. Ka is the low side or the immoral side. Aya is your it gives you or it earns you. So what happens is it earns you to the lower side, or it pulls you down towards the hills, in other words. Right? So this is how you need to see anicca. When you see asada, when you see something, what is it going to do? Raga comes into play. Now what is it going to do? You're going to go crazy about it, and it's going to pull you down towards the hills. It's not going to take you to Nibbhana. This is restricting you from Nibbhana. So am I going to go behind this? Is what you need to see. So this is creating asada. So with raga, what you do is create asada. Is this asada going to be good, or is it going to drive me towards the hills? That is what you need to see. Bhayattena dukkha. Be scared of this by thinking with wisdom. So when we say bhayattena, be scared, it's not, you have to think in a prudently, intelligently, with wisdom, and understand, because it is never fulfilling. It is a useless process that will result in a suffering, because you keep doing it, you put so much effort, and end of the day it doesn't give you anything, you are still not satisfied. So that is how you need to, that is why you need to be scared of, right? And then asara is not a good or a valuable one. If that is what is going to bring you, it is not a good or a valuable thing. The conclusion, we come to the conclusion now. The conclusion is, by attaining, by attaching to vipaka with chandaraga, you create asada. In other words, dukkha arya satya, which is anicca, dukkha, anatta, and viparinama dhamma. So by attaching to vipaka, there is vipaka. There is nothing we can do about the vipaka. There is vipaka sapa, vipaka dukkha, vipaka upeksha, adukkama sukha. So you attach to that with raga, with chandaraga, and then you create a asada, or you create a dukkha arya satya. And this is what is dukkha arya satya. Understanding this is dukkha arya satya, understanding the dukkha arya satya, or the dukkha, the noble truth. Anicca, dukkha, anatta, and viparinama is the dukkha arya satya. For example, when you get a new phone, if it's a brand new phone, the first few days you keep it clean, tidy. You don't even throw it anywhere. You just leave it very slowly on top of the desk. But after a couple of days, you just throw it around, or after a couple of months. Same with a new car. If you buy a new car, if it's a brand new car, you look after it very well. In the first few days, you wash it and clean it and polish it, do whatever you can to keep it in that state. And then after 6-7 months, you don't care about it anymore. It's just, you don't even wash the car anymore. Right? That is what happened. So the 5 senses. Okay, then we'll move on to the next topic, which is the 5 senses cannot enjoy asada. This is also very important. The 5 senses, not the panchakama, the 5, not the 6. Samyukta Nikaya 5.1, Unnaha Brahmana Sutra, 384th page. There are 5 senses. These 5 senses are the eye, ear, nose, tongue, and the body. These do not enjoy from the outside world. So these are the inner world. Eye, ear, nose, tongue, and body are the inner, and the outside, the vision, sound, smell, taste, and touch. So when do they enjoy is the question. Now an ascetic comes to Tathagata Vahanse and he asks, who enjoys? Do these 5 enjoy? From Tathagata Vahanse he is asking, does the eye enjoy from vision? Does the ear enjoy from sounds? Or the nose enjoy from smell? Or the tongue from taste? Or the body from touch? And then he's saying, no, they don't enjoy. Who enjoys? Then Tathagata answers, the mind enjoys. The mind is the one who enjoys. You see something, the eye is not going to enjoy it. It sends a message to the mind, and the mind enjoys it. Right? Then he's asking, who comes to rescue the mind? So he's asking about actually 2 things. He's asking 2 questions. The first one, who enjoys, and then he asks, who comes to rescue if they don't enjoy? Then Tathagata is mentioning the mind enjoys and the mind comes for rescue. Then he asks, who comes to rescue the mind? Then Tathagata says, the mindfulness or concentration comes to rescue. Then he asks, who comes to rescue the mindfulness? Then Tathagata says, Vimuktiya comes to rescue. Then he asks, who comes to rescue the Vimuktiya? Then he says, Nibbhana comes to rescue. Then he asks, who comes to rescue the Nibbhana? Then Tathagata answers, you went over the end of the question. This is the end. And this is the rescue. So Nibbhana is the rescue. So it ends up there. So that is what you need to understand from here. Then moving on to the next one, which is Dhatu Katha Pudgala Prajñapti Prakarana, 297th page. In here, they ask, who is fulfilled? So is there anyone who has fulfilled this? Because from the first episode, we were talking about the fulfilling. We were talking no one has fulfilled. Bill Gates has not fulfilled. Steve Jobs has not fulfilled. They're all looking, trying to fulfill. Has anyone fulfilled? Is the question in the Dhatu Katha Pudgala Prajñapti Prakarana. There are three people who have fulfilled. In this, it's been explained. Samma Sambuddha, Pacceka Buddha, and Arahata Buddha are all fulfilled. The rest are all not fulfilled. In other words, suffering or dukkha in Buddhism is another word for not fulfilled. This statement has a really deep meaning if you think about it carefully, right? So in other words, suffering in Buddhism is another word for not fulfilling. So if you're not fulfilled, so that is why yada aniccan tan dukkha, it ends up in a suffering. Why? It's not fulfilling, right? And as long as one has raga, dvesha, they are not fulfilled. So this is the problem with trying to fulfill. As long as you have raga and dvesha, you are not fulfilled. The moment you get rid of the raga and dvesha and moha, then you become fulfilled. The problem is you are running around trying to fulfill with raga and dvesha and moha. Vibhanga Prakarana 2 Kuddhagavattu Vibhangaya, 228th page. In here, they are asking, what is the asada drushtiya, or what is the asada view? When one comes to a view saying there is nothing wrong in vastukama, or attachment to goods, and he believes that they should be enjoyed, that is the klesha kama. So if one has such a view, that is called the asada drushtiya, or the asada view. This is also something that you need to know. What is the asada drushtiya? Then you know if you have the asada drushtiya or not, because this vastu kama and klesha kama are being eliminated when one becomes sakadagami and anagami in respectively, right? And the conclusion here is 5 senses cannot enjoy asada. That is one conclusion. So therefore it's enjoyed by the mind. So it's a mentally created, mentally fabricated, and you're enjoying with the mind. You're just creating it yourself. You can create it the way you like and enjoy the way you like, but it is something that is created in the mind. That is something that you need to know. There are now we come into methods of paticca. How can you become paticca? In the Samyukta Nikaya 4 Pahana Sutra 391, page 391, it says there are three types of Vedana. Three types of Vedana: Suva Vedana, Dukh Vedana, Noduk no Suva Vedana. So Sukha, Sapa Dukkha Upeksha, in other words. So what do you need to get rid of or eliminate? In the Suva Vedana, you need to get rid of the Raga Anushaya. So in the Suva, you need to get rid of the Raga. In the Dukh Vedana, you need to get the Patiga Anushaya. Anushaya is what is left, right? And Noduk no Suva Vedana, you need to get rid of the Avidya Anushaya. So when you get rid of the Raga Anushaya, Patiga Anushaya and Avidya Anushaya, then you become enlightened. That means if he does these three, he ends the suffering. So that's all for today. So the first thing we learnt about is the birth of a thought is pure. You need to know that. I will just run through quickly because we got time. And then if you have questions, you can type in the questions in the meantime as well. So the first thing we learnt was the birth of a thought is pure, and we are the one that make it dirty. Pabassara binam bhikkave chittang agantukehi upakilittena upakilittang. Right? And it is not about cleaning something that is already dirty, it is about stopping it getting dirty. So if you keep an eye on your thoughts, in your thoughts, when you're doing the meditation, you know when it gets dirty, you just stop it getting dirty. And if you can maintain that for a few minutes, you can go to the Dhyana very easily. This is the Chitta Bhavana. You can do this in the breaks. When you are reciting Karmasthana, you can focus on the Nibbhana. You can focus on the Karmasthana, the field of the Karmasthana. But when there is a break after the Karmasthana, sometimes that is when the mind tends to run around more, because when you are reciting the Karmasthana, you have a more chance of keeping the focus on in there. But in the break time is when the mind runs around. So in that time you can focus on the Chitta Bhavana. You see, is anything coming into my mind? So you keep an eye on that. And then after that we spoke about how asada is created or born. That can be stopped, and it is created from the mind. The technique of creating the asada. And the next one, it was not because of the rupa, it was because of the lustful attachment. So when you see a rupa, the rupa didn't give you asada, it's the paticca uppajjati sukhan somanassa. Rupam paticca uppajjati sukhan somanassa is what gave you the asada. And then we moved on to the your prioritizing roaming around by being blinded. and defiled thoughts. So that is the Chandaraga Nisarana. Then we talked about Pahana. Before that we talked about Parihana Dharma and Aparihana Dharma. How you are going towards the Parihana and how you are going towards a Nibbhana. So Parihana is when you attach with Raga, Dvesha, Moha, assuming it's Nitya, Sukha, Atta. Aparihani is you focus on Anicca, Dukkha, Anatta and eliminate the roaming around or Raga, Dvesha, Moha. Then by attaching to Vipaka with Chandaraga, you create Asada, or in other words Dukkha Arisatya, which is Anicca, Dukkha, Anatta and Viparinama Dhamma. So that is something else we learnt. And we learnt about who's enjoying. Not the eye, not the ear, not the nose, not the tongue or the body. It's the mind who's enjoying. And who's coming to rescue? The Nibbhana comes to rescue at the end. And who is fulfilled? The Tuntara Bodhya. The Samma Sambuddha, Pacceka Buddha and Arahata Buddha are the fulfilled ones. And Pahana Sutra, what you need to Pahana, get rid of, is the Raga Anushya from Sukha Vedana, Patiga Anushya from Dukha Vedana and Avijja Anushya from the No Dukha No Sukha Vedana.